Success is not an accident. Success is not luck. Success is not the lottery ticket you're hoping to win. Success is predictable, and because it's predictable, it's also rare. Only 1% truly achieve it, not because they are born different, but because they think and act differently. Let me explain. Most people drift through life without a clear direction. They wake up every day reacting, not creating. They complain about circumstances, about the economy, about their past, about the opportunities they didn't get. But here's the truth. Successful people don't wait for circumstances. They create circumstances. They take full responsibility for where they are and where they're going. The 1% do what the 99% want. They wake up earlier. They write down their goals every day. They say no to distractions. They discipline themselves to do the hardest, most valuable tasks first. They think long-term when everyone else is chasing short-term pleasure. When I first understood this, I realized success is a choice available to anyone, but chosen by very few. You see, the 1% are not superhuman. They simply live by a different code. They are willing to pay the price up front, hours of work, months of sacrifice, years of persistence, while others want comfort today and success tomorrow. And that's why tomorrow never comes for them. Ask yourself this: are you living like the 99% or thinking like the 1%? Because the gap between failure and success is not as wide as you think. It's a handful of disciplines, repeated every single day, that separate the average from the extraordinary. Now, why doesn't everyone do this? Because it sounds too simple. Because it requires sitting alone in silence and confronting yourself. Because it demands commitment. The 99% want motivation without direction. They want results without clarity. And so they chase distractions, quick pleasures, empty entertainment, while the 1% focus, plan, and act with purpose. And then comes the second secret: discipline. Discipline is doing what you must do, whether you feel like it or not. Discipline is putting in the hours when the excitement fades. Discipline is eating healthy when junk food is easier. It's making the calls when rejection scares you. It's saying no to comfort in the short term so you can say yes to freedom in the long term. The 1% understands something powerful. You cannot escape the price of success. You either pay it today in effort and sacrifice, or you pay it tomorrow in regret. That's why they rise early. That's why they read instead of wasting hours scrolling. That's why they invest instead of consuming. That's why they keep pushing when others quit. And here's the greatest truth of all. Discipline compounds. Every day that you choose discipline over excuses, you're not just moving forward, you're multiplying your advantage. You're separating yourself further and further from the masses. So remember, the gap between you and the 1% is not talent, not luck, not background, it's clarity, discipline, and daily action. The question is not whether success is possible for you. The question is, are you willing to think, act, and live like the 1%? Let me tell you something you may not want to hear. Success has a price. Everyone admires the results, but very few are willing to pay for the process. That is why only 1% make it. The truth is, success will cost you sleep. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you friendships with people who no longer share your vision. It will cost you evenings of pleasure, weekends of relaxation, years of uncertainty. That is the toll on the road to greatness. Most people, the 1%, do something different. When they hit the wall, they don't stop. They climb, they break, they push through. They see obstacles not as signals to quit, but as tests of how badly they want it. That is why I tell people, if you can hold on just a little longer than everyone else, you will win. Because most people give up right before the breakthrough. The 1% have trained themselves to embrace the pain, the sacrifice, the loneliness. They accept that success is supposed to be hard, because if it were easy, everyone would have it. So remember this, every time you feel like giving up, every time the struggle seems unbearable, remind yourself this is the very moment where the 99% quit. And this is your chance to separate yourself. The price of success is non-negotiable. You will either pay it or forfeit it. The choice is yours. And the reward, the freedom, the confidence, the life you dream of, belongs only to those who endure. Now let's bring it all together. Success belongs to the few, not because the few are chosen, but because the few choose themselves. Every day, you are writing the story of your life. Every day you are casting a vote for who you will become. And here is the great secret. Small disciplines, practiced consistently, create extraordinary results. That is why the 1% rise above. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems. They don't wait for inspiration. They live by discipline. They don't chase instant gratification. They invest in the long game. And most importantly, they think differently. While 99% say, I hope it works out, the 1% say, I will make it work out. While the 99% say, I'll try tomorrow, the 1% say, I'll start today. While the 99% ask, what if I fail? The 1% ask, what if I succeed? And let me leave, because here's the final truth. The 99% will always. So I challenge you, write down your goals tonight. Wake up tomorrow with discipline. Take action as if your future depends on it, because it does. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for luck. Don't wait for the world to hand you success. Remember, only 1% achieve greatness. Why not you?